Good evening and welcome to Love Angels Light TV. We are joined tonight by the beautiful Ms Tique. Welcome, you amazing lady.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be
My
here.
absolute pleasure. I've got someone putting lots of posts up, so that's cool. Lots of comments already.
Oh, already? See? We're just on fire already. Like, come on. The awesome. No, that's the awesome foursome, isn't it? So, no, I was going to wreck that comment. Don't worry about it. Awesome
That is
twosome.
okay. That's all good. Ms Tique, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay, just a little bit. You only want a small version of me? Okay. For those who don't know me, I'm a psychic medium clairvoyant. I'm natural born psychic. Actually, the first time I started speaking with spirit and seeing spirit and getting messages through from spirit, I was the age of 3. My parents freaked out that I was possessed by the devil, but that's that was their problem, not mine. And I, unfortunately, though, they kind of got me to suppress it for a while, given the nature of what I could do and, the stigma around it and all that sort of thing. So, not that my parents were prude, but they just didn't want the neighbours to talk. So, I did suppress it for a while. However, coming into teenage years and early 20s, it was so alive. It was, it was in me all the time to kind of go, do you know what, excuse me, I'm just seeing, your nan or whoever else beside you. And I was like forever telling people things, and it did freak a few people out for a while. But of course, a bit later, I kind of went, you know what, I really have to compile all this and do this for me, because it's my passion. But also, too, I kind of thought to myself, you know what, there's a lot of psychics around, a lot of tarot readers around. What can I do that's a little bit different? And that's not being arrogant. It was just, what else can I do to add to the mix? So I then went into study, and I've certified psychotherapist, holistic counselor, which I'm now in the middle or 3/4 way through doing the advanced part of the holistic counseling, empowerment coaching, personal development. What else do I do? Spiritual and crystal healings, past life trauma release, and grief counselling. Majored in that, and past trauma release is so empowering. It's just crazy, and spirit seems to direct me to people who often just want a basic reading, but I feel and I sense what's gone on in the past, and I bring that forward. And I don't bring it forward for any negativity. I bring it forward because I'm still feeling that they're carrying it around with them. So therefore, they're probably not being the best version of themselves. So being able to help them release that in a really safe and wonderful environment, they're sort of like that. It's a kind of unknown to them. They kind of go, oh, I thought I got rid of all that. And then they realize that certain things in their life have had like a repeat like effect, because they've been hanging on to that trauma. So it's a really wonderful ride for them to be healed and move forward with that. So yeah, do a bit of palmistry, numerology, of course my crystals. Jack of all trades, master of I don't know how many, lost count.
So is there anything you don't do?
Not really. Not really. I don't know. I didn't want to sound incapable. Look, I know people who follow me on Facebook also know that I have another thing, because I also do sex therapy stuff as well as, and people often say, oh, that's a bit crude, but they don't understand that even victims of crime or victim of rape and stuff like that, they need help to move past that. They need to heal deeper than just the average person who has just like another trauma. Married people who are struggling to have children, all that sort of thing. So sex therapy is not just about sex, which most people think it is. And, some people want to have a bit of a crack at that. But, that was 3 years in the training of that as well. It's not just an overnight thing that all of a sudden you become a sex therapist. That was 3 years of training. So each section that I've done is virtually 2 and 3 years of study before I can add that to my mix, if that's the way of saying it. So that's why, I take pride in everything I do, but sessions with people become so personal, and then you can help them on so many other levels, apart from like what you actually do see in tarot cards or hear from spirit. So combining it, my dream when I was a child, I was probably about 10, I used to, because I had like a really horrible upbringing with violence and whatever else, but I kind of used to get lost in the little golden books. I used to virtually put myself in as one of the characters in the little golden books, but my vision way back there was to have like a wellness center. So now that I've done all these other diplomas and degrees, because I also have a law degree as well, so that's just throwing it out there on a different mix. But and then let's go to the massage diplomas as well. But it's almost like my whole wellness center is together. I just don't have the structural big dome as a wellness center as such. But my vision was that. But I'm almost there. Structurally, I'm almost there to have my big wellness center. But yeah, I take pride in what I do because I can just help so many on all different levels. And that gives me pleasure to see someone shine after they've gone, through whatever. So it's all good.
No, that's amazing. All that tells me is that you are passionate about bringing the best possible result for the people you work with. That's all that tells me. And you've worked damn hard to get where you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All done on myself. I've prided myself, like, even if people want to go and check out my website, which we'll talk about later, but I'm certainly no graphic designer, but I designed my website back in 2016. Someone gave me just one word, which was the brand of the place you could go to, and you could just sit there and create your own. It took about 3 months because I decided to make so many changes, and I have backgrounds moving on different pages, or I have still pay. Like, you just get so engrossed in, and by doing it yourself, A, it's an achievement that I've never done before, but B, you can go in at any time. You can update, where your events are going to be. You can change backgrounds. You can, and I don't have to pay anyone to do it. So it belongs to me, and it's all my creativity that goes, and my love, of course, that goes into it, in making it nice and bright and cheerful for anyone who wants to go and explore it. That's all good.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite part of what you do?
Oh, God. Wow, that's a tough one. You're throwing me a tough one first up. I couldn't pick a favorite as such, because once I kind of, if I have a client in front of me, new or a regular, doesn't really matter, or if we're doing these lives and I have a question, like, I'm thrown to whatever spirit guides me. But I do everything with the utmost respect, and sometimes I stop myself and I say, I'm saying this with respect, and I'm saying it from my heart, and I say everything with passion, because I just, for years and years, it was just, like, I was bullied. I was named as the devil, all this sort of stuff for years. And I was kind of sick of justifying myself all the time, even to my own family, where in the end I just went, you know what? I am who I am. I don't care if you don't believe what I can do. I know what I can do. And I have helped thousands of people, including celebrities, which I actually can't name their names for obvious reasons. But, the amount of people that, when you see their journey in life change, and it's not about me being arrogant or having a big ego. My main satisfaction is when I see, especially when I see someone that's gone through a really bad trauma, and then they've changed their life because they've healed in parts of their life, and they've moved on, and they're just a different person. And I just sit back and go, wow, I'm so happy for that person. You know what I mean? So,
Definitely.
it's a multitude of things that, that I love, and I wouldn't change a thing. And as I said, like, people either love you or hate you, and it doesn't really matter anymore, because we're all different human beings. We're all individuals. There'll be something that someone doesn't like any day of the week. Do you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no point.
Exactly.
There's no point trying to keep up with the Joneses. There's no point trying to justify yourself anymore. I just do what I'm so passionate about, and it comes out so natural half the time that, and people will gauge their own, their own thoughts. But I hold no judgment with anyone. Like, no subject with me is barred, because I hold no judgment with anybody, and I always say everything with the greatest respect, and it's always from my heart. So, yeah, that's me.
How would you like to do some readings?
Yay! Yeah, enough about me. Well, stop talking about me. Like, enough about me. Get on to someone else.
I've got Marianne.
Okay.
So, good evening, ladies. We'd love a reading.
Okay, so we're just obviously looking at a general for this lady. Who have we got? Marianne. Okay, Marianne, look, the first thing I want to say that has come out with you, and again, here I go with saying I say everything with respect, but it seems that there's a lot of disorder around you at the current time. So there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of even you kind of wondering why things aren't progressing for you in the way or the manner in which which you would like to have it. There seems to be a lot of people who have an opinion about what you should be doing, instead of like you kind of going, do you know what? Thank you for your opinion, but I'll work that out myself. And I have a great saying about opinions, is that everybody has an opinion, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but it's what you do with that opinion that matters. And that's the only thing that matters, is what you choose to do with that opinion. But it seems to me that you've kind of taken on board. I'm seeing three, so it seems to me that you've taken on board about three particular comments that people have made, and it's kind of made you a bit stuck, if that makes sense. You've been thinking about changing something in your life, but you're too. What people have said, I've got to correct myself there. What people have said have made you a little bit scared to take that leap of faith. I'm here to say it's your choice to do that. It's your choice to take that leap of faith. But I see that leap of faith as being the best goddamn thing you can do right now. I don't want to, and I said this the other night too when I did a live, I don't want to bring COVID into a lot of things. However, it has affected a lot of the way we do things. And it's when you need to think, where you've got to stop and go, do you know what? I want to do this, but how do I do it now that COVID's here? Or can I change it or elaborate it a little bit differently so I can successfully do what I want to do, regardless of COVID or not? We do have to take a little bit of notice of it, but it's how you adapt, rather than taking on the negativity of COVID by going, oh, I can't do that, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that. Well, it's I want to do this. How can I change it to make myself do it? That's more of the question that you pose yourself. But I just want to alert you to a couple of people that are around you that seem to have very strong opinions, and some of them are normally great. But at this point in time, some of those opinions I feel in my heart, they're a little bit harsh. And it's made you take a bit of a backstep burner, where you're now sitting on the fence and you're very unsure of what the next decision is that you need to make. I'd like you to sit quietly one night and just sit down with some pieces of paper. And the wording I want you to start off with is, what am I truly passionate about? Because when you come back to looking at those words about what you're really passionate about, you will know which path you need to take. So I want to say to you, by Christmas, which is not that far away, but by Christmas, you know which leap of faith to take. And that path will lead you on the right path, instead of this path that seems to go a little bit, and it doesn't end up anywhere. But you've actually turned the corner and go on the right path, and that right path will do you a hell of a lot of justice, and you'll be a lot happier as well as. So I hope that helps you, and let us know how you go with that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, Rebecca, I would love a connection from Spirit. Okay, so she's obviously looking for someone in particular. Okay, I could be cheeky and say your wish is my command. I've said it anyway, because that's the first thing I have. I've got. So I actually have. I wouldn't call him, because he might get offended if I call him an older man, but he's an older man than I. So let's just put it in that way. But he's a character, and I don't mean any disrespect by laughing. It's just that he's coming through as such a character. So this gentleman has like a funny way about him. He has. If I can say it this way, when he walks into a room, he is noticed, but he's more noticed of, oh, thank God Bill's here type thing. I don't know if Bill's his name, but of course that's just a comment that people make. It's like, oh, thank God Bill's here, because Bill's a bit of the life of the party. So he's a bit of a character. However, on his serious side, he can be a really, I know I don't want to swear, spirit storm. My dad's in my ear and I'm like, I can't say that. But he's a bit strict. I'm going to use the word strict. He's a bit strict with certain things that he needs to do before he can go off and help somebody else, if that makes sense. That's really weird, but it's almost like people went to him for a reason. People asked him for help for a reason, because he seems to have like a bucket load of knowledge in his head. Like, it's almost like he's a walking encyclopedia. He has so much knowledge in his head, and when people ask him a question, he automatically has the answer for them. But sometimes he'll be a bit sharp and a bit blunt and kind of go, do you know what? I'm busy. I need to be over here. because they're expecting me over there in 5 minutes, and I've taken 6 minutes with you type thing. So he's very particular about timing and how much time he gives people on that zone. However, friends and family gives them all the time in the world. So he's coming across as a couple of different characters. But I love the funny side of him. But the message I have for you, virtually, and this is going to sound really, really weird, but in your kitchen, it's taking me for a walk. So in your kitchen, if on the right-hand side of your kitchen sink, I need to go under that cupboard on the right-hand side only. There's something in there that's been there for a very, very long time, and that needs to go. Like it's not food of any sort, but there's something in there that you've been hanging on to for a reason, and the reason has expired, if that's the way I want to say it. So it's not food, so don't panic about food, and don't panic about creatures being under there, because that's not it either. But I think it's something that you have actually lost and you haven't been able to find. So he's directed me that you need to go under there, and he says to me that you're going to have a very big chuckle yourself when you actually go there and see what it is. So I don't know what that is, because he's not going to tell me either, but that's the character in him that virtually says when you go there, you'll see it, and you'll kind of go, oh my God, and you'll kind of wonder and start to think how long it's actually been there. When you work out how long it's actually been there, that will take you back virtually to not long after that person passed. So it'll be kind of emotional at the same time, but it'll be a nice, fun connection, if you know what I mean. So, and I've said that with the greatest respect. So I hope that helps you, Rebecca, and let us know.
Awesome.
He was cute. His energy was cute. Oh dear.
I love them.
I love them too.
All right, let's have a look. Okay, so Christine would love a reading.
Okay. Christine, I actually want to say to you that deep breath on this one. A lot of anxiety around you at the moment. There's a lot of I don't know. I don't even know what's caused the anxiety, but it seems like there's rushes of anxiety that kind of that I want to say hit you in a way not unexpectedly, because I think that you have had in the past some anxiety panic attacks. Oh, excuse me. Now I'm kind of I'm getting hit with something now. How can I say this? You've been through. I probably want to go back about 10 years. You went through something about 10 years ago that actually caused this sort of like sensation of, I'm not good enough for this and I'm not good enough for that, and people are going to talk about me if I do that. But you're kind of worried about what everyone else is going to say or question what you do, rather than just rolling with what you feel yourself. Like I think I used this scenario in a healing session I did for a group of people, where everybody had this stigma about, they think that if you're too big to be down the beach in a swimsuit, whether it be big people don't wear bikinis as such, but if you're down the beach in a swimsuit, bigger people seem to think that everybody's there staring at them, and that's why they feel uncomfortable, and that's actually why they don't go. But when you think about it, everybody goes to the beach to enjoy themselves. Do people actually go to the beach to go, oh, she's too big to be here, she's too big to be here, and she shouldn't be here? And look, there might be some smart asses on the planet, but if you stop and think that people are actually thinking or talking about you, if you look over and see a few people laughing, you think, oh, they're looking at me and they're laughing at me, oh, I need to go. A beach is a public place, and you seem to have, and that's not me talking about your weight, sweetheart. That was just an example of how some people's perception can be so wrong. When you want to do something, why do you want to be a people pleaser all the time? And why do you sort of go, oh no, I can't do that because all those people will think it's wrong for me? You just seem to be taking on. This is where the anxiety just comes up and comes up and comes up, because every time you choose to do something or choose to put that foot forward and choose to do something for you, you're always worried about what other people will think and say. And that's not how to live our lives at all. If we all did that, none of us would be doing anything, because we'd be all worried about what Joe Blow next door is going to think. Oh, I shouldn't walk downstairs with my slippers on because people will laugh at me. I mean, come on, it doesn't matter these days. And I do mean everything with the greatest respect, where, I just want you to stop and, sit back and smell the roses, and stop trying to people please. When you start doing things that you really enjoy, because it seems to me that you're missing out on certain things. And maybe Spirit was telling me to tell you that beach story for a reason. Are you not going places because people have said, I went there and it's not very good? Or, oh, no, don't do that, that's boring. Like, are people telling you these things for you to just kind of go, oh, I won't do that then? You need to experience some of these things for yourself. If you're thinking about doing something, if nobody wants to go with you, please go on your own and enjoy it. Go and see it for yourself. Go watch a movie yourself. Nobody bats an eyelid if I'm in a picture theatre on my own watching a movie. I don't care if I'm there on my own. It's, I wanted to see it, so I went. If I want to go and sit down the beach on my own, I'll go, because I want to go to the beach. I don't want to sit at home going, I want to go to the beach, but no one wants to come with me. Like, all these sorts of, it seems that you've got all these sorts of things up here in your mind that over a period of years that people have instilled. And they're probably people that you love very dearly, and I respect that. But start kind of going, okay, that's your opinion and that's your opinion, but maybe I should sit back and work out what I really want to do for me. What is it that makes me happy? Because when you start doing things that make you happy, your life just seems to streamroll so much better, so much easier. I actually want to say to you that parts for the last 10 years are like this. They're just up and down all the time. It seems to be like roller coasters all the time, and you can't work out why. It's because you're listening to too many people. And look, they're okay to tell you their opinion, but just put it to the side and sit there and go, what do I need to do for me? And when you start doing some things like that, sweetheart, I think parts of your life will just change so much. And Spirit came running in with me with that one, so I knew I had to elaborate on it, because it's something that, Spirit always directs me in the most important thing you need to know right now. And that's kind of where they were going with that you're just holding yourself back from having probably a bit of a freer life than what you have, currently right now. So I hope that helps you. And again, I say it all with respect and love.
Yeah.
Who's next?
All right, we have Demira.
Oh, she was one of the ones that jumped on early.
Right at the start.
Yes.
Yeah, so there have been various events, and one of them was, I'm going to find it, a domestic violence victim, and worried ex-partner's going to try and come back.
Okay. Demira, stop the worry. The more you worry, and I say this from personal experience, as well as everything that I've been taught and everything that I'm hearing from Spirit. Now, the personal side of me wants to say to you, and it is part spiritual as well, as the more, and I think Eileen will back me up on this sort of thing, the more you think about something and worry about if something's going to happen, it is a big what if. So it's like in meditations, if we meditate and go, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happened? Because we're tuning into ourselves and wanting the best for ourselves, and we're asking for that in meditation. If you're asking the opposite, and with what ifs and should ifs and could ifs and all that sort of stuff, you're actually asking the universe to give it to you, because you keep it in the forefront of your mind. So if you're kind of living every day going, oh, I wonder if he's going to do this, and oh, I wonder if he's going to come back and do this, and oh, like, I'm really worried, I wonder if they're going to do this. So if you tell one person that, and then you might tell a legal representative that, and you might tell a girlfriend that, and then you might tell a counsellor that, there's 4 times that you've said it possibly in one day. The universe says, she's worried about it, but she keeps talking about it, so she might want it. So the universe will bring it along. And I do mean that with the greatest respect. It's like when it's the other version of when people say, oh, I keep trying to manifest and meditate that I want a man in my life. And I go, well, what are you asking for? Oh, I just want a man in my life. Well, sweetheart, they're going to bring anybody, because you're not asking for specific things. So, but when you put out there, oh, I don't want this to happen. Oh, I don't want to go on that ride. It's going to make me sick. I don't want to go on that train. I get motion sickness. I don't want to go on that train. You get on that train, you would have actually been fine. But if you panicked and gone, oh, I don't want to get on that train. So by the time you get on there, it feels crap. So all this sort of stuff, I don't want to say it's mind over matter, because it's a very valid worrying reason. So the purity in that is, yes, it's a worrying reason, but if nothing's actually happened, and nothing's happened for a while now, and I hear that nothing's happened for a while, there's no recall for me to say to you, worry about him coming back to do anything, because I don't feel it. And Spirit's telling me that I don't have him in the forefront. I don't have any bad vibes coming into my back saying that he's there to worry you or is there to scare you. Like, I feel like he's gone, but in your subconscious, you're worried. But that subconscious of worry will, that will worry you, like sick. Like you'll start to feel sicker in the tummy day after day after day. And the doctor will tell you that you don't have a tummy issue, but the doctor doesn't realize it's a stress issue that your subconscious is putting into your tummy, because that's where it'll attack you the most. Like, it's hard when you've been a domestic violence victim, because you do wonder if it's stopped, you do wonder if you're safe, and you do wonder if it's going to happen again. But you've got to put it in perspective. Like, and if you write a journal about this happened to me, like write a book, like, as if you're writing a chapter of a book, this happened to me, and you put it all down on paper. There shouldn't be what ifs, because you should be congratulating yourself for getting through what actually has happened, and don't start wondering what could happen, because until it happens, it's not going to happen. But if you keep putting it out there, it may happen. So I know that sounds weird, but it's proven itself time and time again in the past. I work with domestic violence victims. I have done since 1994. I do my charity work or community work, whatever you want to call it, to domestic violence victims, where they feel like, there's no hope for them, or they're too scared to go out the front door, or they think their life is absolute shit because it's happened to them. I've worked with these women for so long. I was a victim myself for so long. Well, not for like a long period of time. However, I should have died 3 times. And when people say to me that, you don't know how I feel, yes, I do know how you feel. I was once there, and I have plenty of scars to prove it. And it is my passion to help these women in this situation. And you, my sweet, I don't feel like he's there. I don't feel like he's coming back. I don't think you should be spending any more time of this worry sector and worrying whether he is going to come back, because I don't feel him. I don't even sense him. I don't even get cold chills. Spirit aren't giving me anything. Spirit is virtually saying, your happy face, and again with respect, it's like your happy face will age with worry when there's nothing to worry about. And if I can truly leave that message with you, and look, later on, if there's anything underlying that maybe from past, and maybe from the things that happened to you under domestic violence, if any of that is still lingering and that's what's causing your worry, because you may not have had those resolved within yourself, please connect with me later. We'll do some sessions. We'll get rid of all that, and I'll clear all that negative energy and put you onto a path that will be far happier for you. I don't want you aging because of worry. There's no point. Please. He's not even coming through from a message from Spirit, nothing. And my dad is one of my main spirit guides, and trust me, if he was around, my dad would be in my ear saying, punch him out. And I would know then that he's around. But Dad is not saying anything. He's sitting back there going, no, I'm happy with what you're saying. So stop the worry. You don't need it. You don't need it in your life. Okay. She'll understand what I mean.
She said, okay.
See, now I get goose pimples.
She says, all right, I'm doing my scrolly game, guys, to see how far back it will let me go.
Okay.
Or how far back I want to go, because these comments are getting really thick and fast.
Oh, does that mean everybody loves me?
Right. Everybody loves you. It's all about you tonight.
Oh, now I get all warm and fuzzy.
Oh, that's my job done.
You go home. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I am home.
I know you are. That's why I said I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, you've got one. Okay. All of a sudden,
Jody.
I just had a mountain of comments come up the side of myself, and I'm like, oh my god, I've just got to go here. But anyway, you've got one. Joe's. I can't even pronounce that surname. But anyway, Jodester. That's a pretty cool name, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Jody. I actually do know her, but I kind of closed my eyes and looked away from the comments and picked one.
Oh, okay. Well, there must be a reason. There must be a reason. Look, I want to actually say to Jody, parts of me are really, really happy. I don't know whether she's had a reunion of friends of late or it's coming, but it seems to be that there's the butterflies in the tummy to virtually say, do you know what, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really, I'm looking forward to seeing these particular people. So I want to say that it's to come because I've got all the butterflies in the stomach. So if it's already happened, I wouldn't get that. So I think that she's been missing someone in her life for a while, and I think they've been away, and they're virtually, or maybe I've just ruined the surprise. Oh, okay, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it seems to. See, when spirit talks, I just blurt before I cut you. Anyway, it may not be a surprise. It's okay, Jody. And if it is, just act surprised. No, I don't. I think she knows about it. I'm pretty sure she does because I'm being told that there's been a lot of chitter chatter around it, and that chitter chatter about that person actually coming home. So that would make, please, Jody, if you jump back in and tell me because I really didn't want to ruin any surprises. Yeah. But maybe my baby. Okay. Because it just it's
pregnant.
Sorry?
She's pregnant.
Oh, is it? Okay. Let me just refilter that then. Okay. If I want to go to number 5, so I don't know if she's 5 months pregnant as such, or if it's due on the 5th of any particular month, but she's okay. I know what the reunion is now. It's not a surprise. It is someone coming in. Has she been rubbing her tummy a lot, talking to Bubs? Is this what I don't know. But rubbing her tummy and trying to welcome her in the world. Anyway, we'll see. That's what I get. I get all this rubbing of tummy and talk. But I'm also still getting that someone else turns up. I'm still getting that someone actually is turning up. Someone who's been away and is coming back into the mix. I still get that loud and clear. So as much as she might be talking to Bubs and trying to adjust with Bubs and let Bubs know that like the love and everything is there, there's somebody else that's been missing from her life for a while that's coming back. Because I get this happy reunion, but I get it with adults. I get a different feeling with Bubs. I get it with reunion of adults. So maybe someone's coming home to be there at the birth. Someone that's like a long-term friend or something rather is coming back to enjoy all the festivities around having a child. That's probably that's more like the feeling that I've got here. But I also want to say to her too that is this the flavour of tonight where people are butting heads with opinions on what she should do, how she should decorate and stuff like that, like her creativity and what she wants to do with her hands seems to be, no, I'm getting this, slap, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, and no, we're not ready for that. And so she seems to be getting kind of pulled up for all the creativity stuff that she wants to do to kind of build this little lovely nurturing, nest egg for Bub. So do you know what? Do what you like with your creativity, because to me, your creativity speaks thousands of words. You are very, very good with your hands, and you can create. If you see something, you don't seem to check something out. If you see something, you can kind of go, do you know what? If I look at that long enough, I'll be able to make that. So you have this kind of knack with being able to do that. So stick with that and make Bubs as many things as you like, because I think you're pretty damn good with creative hands. But yeah, just let me know if you connect with, or if you understand what I mean about that other person coming back to to kind of be around for that, because that's quite interesting, because it's a he, because he just keeps coming into my face all the time.
That almost sounds uncomfortable.
Sorry?
I said it almost sounds uncomfortable. Someone coming into your face all the time.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's life.
It is. I'm going to scroll and pick.
Okay. Can I just say, I've just seen it pop up on the screen. Alison Turner, she's actually been, every time I've put up that I was going to be on tonight, she's actually been sending me messages saying, good, I can't wait to connect. So if you can grab her, because it's just now gone past me.
That's the right one. It moved just as I clicked.
Yep. Oh.
Hang on. Having technical difficulties. Here we go.
Thank you. Is it my time to move? If not, when? And could you give me other details? Or if not, a general. Okay. Alison, okay. Are you going to move? Ooh. In a way, I probably wouldn't want to put up all the cards that I've drawn, but you are in a sense on the move. My worry with it is, are you trying to move to run from something else? Because if that's what's in your heart right now, then I would say stay put and fight. And I don't mean physically fight. What I mean is work through the issues that you're having. Don't move just because of them. That came through loud and clear. But also, too, on top of that, also came the new beginning card. There's definitely going to be a move for you, but I kind of want it to be the right reasons. And if you're worried about something in particular to make yourself want to move, then I would say you're going to pick something that's actually not going to be comfortable for you in the long run. You will get into that particular place and go, do you know what? This isn't really what I want. So why did I do all this? So that's where I'd say that is not the right time to do that. If your heart is truly, no, I'm not running away from anything, I haven't got any worries, I haven't got any stresses, and you're starting to look at places to move, then go right ahead, because the timing is right, but the right reasons have to go with it. Because if the timing's right, but you're doing it for the wrong reasons, it actually will fall flat. And Spirit is very clear with that. When Spirit says that something is the time is right, you also have to be in the right headspace for it actually to work. I mean, sometimes when we do tarot card spreads, and Eileen will probably jump in and say the same thing on here. When we do tarot card spreads and we see what we can see and we can hear what we can also that goes with it, if there's something else that you need to change, then all that we see may not happen unless you do the path that, Spirit directs you, and in this instance, that's what I'm saying. The timing is right, but there's something on with you that if you're in the wrong headspace to do it, then it won't work out as Spirit are directing me to say. So, we see some of these things quite often, and some people come back and say, well, you were wrong in the tarot cards. And you go, well, okay, but did you fix up A, B, or C? And they go, oh, no, I didn't worry about that. I was just looking forward to what you saw. And I go, well, if A, B, and C weren't fixed, the rest wasn't going to happen. So this is where some of the confusion can come in, where people go, oh, that tarot, reading was rubbish. But you have to hear the whole scenario of what we hear and what we feel. And this is what I feel with you, that I don't want you to be running and going somewhere or just choosing somewhere if it's actually not right in here. So I think, I hope you understand what I mean by that. And I do say that with the greatest respect. I'm certainly not picking on you, because the new beginning card for me, alongside the movement card, it will happen. And I'm hoping that you're just in the right frame of mind to go, do you know what? I want to move because I want to be closer to the water, or I want to move because I'd love to be closer to my family, all that sort of thing. This is where I feel is the right reason to move. Will you have enough money though right now to actually do it? Finances are okay, but just be mindful on if the other end are asking for too much extra, is what I get told there. So if they're asking for too much extra, it means someone's actually trying to take you for a bit of a ride. So I'd be very mindful of that. I'd be more about if you're in the right frame and you love somewhere, I'd be more about haggling to come down, not to go up. because it seems that if you don't kind of stand your ground, somebody's going to come in and say, oh, but this needs doing too, and this needs doing too. Oh, and I was going to do that before I sold it, but, you know, you need to do that because the building report won't be right. These sorts of niggly things are coming into me from spirit. So just be mindful of what you're doing and what you're seeing when you're out there. And then, yeah, if you see something that you love and it's actually what you're thinking of doing, please take the advice of the new beginning card and go with the flow and run with it. But I just don't want you feeling that you're abandoning one area just because something's gone on and you don't want to stay and fix it, if that makes sense. I hope that helps you, Alison.
Awesome.
Okay, I digress. I was reading on their side. Tammy, hi. I would love to know if you have any. Did we not read for her already?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Now you're making me think.
No. Well, now I'm seeing her name up quite a lot on the side. I didn't see that a minute ago, but now I'm seeing a lot of. So Tammy's obviously been writing a few times, maybe.
Yes, she has been.
Oh, okay.
She says no.
No. No.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
No, you haven't read for me, Miss.
Okay. I shuffled the cards and I've got two cards exactly the same as the last reading. That's really bizarre. Passed over loved ones. This is going to. Okay. You asked, you get. If it gets emotional, sorry. I'm going to say that up front. What I'm going to say to you is two close people in your life are now in spirit world. But I actually want to say to you, parts of you feel like a child that's lost their mum. And with the greatest respect, and here I go, because your spirit's got me in the throat, and I knew when I get emotional ones, they get me in the throat. You weren't a child when it happened, but I see you as a distressed child after one of them has passed, which is virtually, when spirit shows me that is more about that you were extremely emotional. It was someone extremely close to you, and if it's not a direct relative, it was somebody that you had so much trust in and so much love for that person. I actually want to say to you that the gentleman side of it. No, I'm going to go to the female first. The gentleman can wait. I've just pushed him out of the way. Sorry, because the female version is sweet, and she's an older lady who seems to love, like, the frangipani that people used to wear behind their ear sometimes. I don't even know what era that was, but it seems that in part of her life, she seemed to have worn this frangipani behind her ear, and I want to say that she actually had a frangipani tree, so she was subject to having them all the time. Apparently, she used to have plates of them in the house as well for the smell. And you Tammy, grew up around that particular smell. And yeah, but I will probably go to the grandmother's age and say, to someone around that age group. They're not giving me a name, unfortunately, because they're kind of they're actually pushing the gentleman out of the way themselves now, and I think that was the reason I got to push. But what I'm hearing from spirit is that please don't feel abandoned by this. They show me this child where you're distressed in the whole scenario, but it's like you feel like you're not whole anymore because you've lost somebody so important. And I'm here to virtually say, these two particular people, and the other one is a gentleman, and the other one's not an older person at all. But I want to say to you that they didn't leave you deliberately, and they didn't leave you on purpose to make you feel this abandoned motion. But it's more about, it was their time to go, especially with the elder lady. Like, it was her time to go, and she's telling me that she went quite peacefully without too much of a fuss, but because she doesn't like having a fuss made over as well, if that makes sense to you. But she's also saying what you thought you said that she couldn't hear, at the end she heard perfectly. And I want to say to you that on your on with you standing, how am I going to do this? I'm not going to say this was the day she passed, because I feel like it was a couple of days before it, but you seem to have been on her left side stroking her arm and virtually telling her that everything was okay. But in saying that, Spirit tells me that you were putting on a bit of a front. You were, deeply cut up inside, but you were putting on a front because you didn't want anyone to know. So you were wearing a mask is what I get shown there. And the kindness and the gentleness that you showed this particular lady, and I want to say everybody in your family, you are the gentlest and kindest person out of a bunch of a whole lot of people, which is probably why you feel this sense of abandonment. But I need to keep coming back to that and saying, do you know what? You haven't been abandoned. There is people around you that love you dearly, but your heart, you've put this barrier across your heart because you feel like, at that stage it broke you. You're not broken, sweetheart. Your kindness and your generosity towards others is just, it's impeccable. But please open that heart a little bit more, because there's the people around you are not going to hurt you. But if you can live by even one of the tattoos I have on my arm, which says acknowledge, accept, release, it's more about, we can't change the past, but you're acknowledging that your loved ones have gone, but you're accepting that you've done everything that you can to make it a peaceful exit, if that's the way I want to say that, because your kindness is what actually helped them go, if that makes sense to you. And they're around you, and the gentleman keeps jumping in and says he's a beer drinker and you drank his beer. So I wanted to get the nice bit of emotion out before I kind of went funny on it, but he was a bit of a beer drinker, and apparently you drank his beer, but that's okay because he can't have it now anyway. He has his own beer where he is. But yeah, I feel you in my heart, and I know you're getting better, and I know you're not taking a lot of stuff on board, because you've kind of got those blockages. But I need you to do a bit more work on you. Like, I need you to come back to you, sort of saying, do you know what? Nothing was my fault. Like, you didn't make them pass. Nothing was your fault. So there's no need to hang on to any guilt. You've done everything you can to the best of your ability. And, your love and your kindness with these people was just, that was their, you were their world. I was going to say that was their world, but you were their world. You made their world better, if that makes sense. So, I hope you're okay on that. And if there's anything else that you need to, please just let us know. Please let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are so many comments here.
Sorry?
There are so many. Okay, so guys, if I skip past you, it's because I have no control at this point. Things have gone nuts.
Yay!
I'm blaming her.
Oh, thanks!
Did you see the...
Blaming her?
Yeah. That's why I have guests on, didn't you know? Tammy,
you just gave me goose pimples with your comment. Like, Arlene, if you can't see it, she's just said, wow, I don't know what to say except a huge thank you. Tammy, I'm with you with all my heart with it. And beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful soul. And great connection.
All right. Alison also commented back, which should be coming up.
People are not home. Yeah. Yep. Good on her. I hope she does go there. But yeah.
The Blue Mountains is beautiful.
Oh, okay, Kylie. My nan passed away last week, and I'm pregnant. I'm scared for the future of my baby, and I'm worried for my mum. Okay. First of all, Kylie, I want to my serious condolences for losing your nan. I know nans are beautiful creatures, and I'm with you on that one. I have my nan, actually. I'm lucky my nan is one of my spirit guides. She always comes in with the loving, nurturing things. and a beautiful soul, as was I see with your Nan. But also to you, congratulations on your pregnancy. I mean, that's wonderful. I'm just not sure why you're scared for the future of your baby. I mean, if you're scared because of COVID, please just empty that from your mind. I mean, we cannot control COVID. We cannot control what people are saying about it or not saying about it. We can't control everyone's opinion about it. But the more you put yourself into that fear factor, the more you will worry when you walk out the door. It's part of me wants to say a lot of it is common sense, and being common sense. I don't mean that to be arrogant, but people, everybody has an opinion on it. If we just kind of try and do all the right things, I mean, the statistics will tell you that more people die of the flu than what have of COVID. And in theory, if we had been doing this, washing hands and a bit of distancing from people, in winter anyway, and any other year, maybe half of us wouldn't have got the flu every year. Do you know what I mean? So in hindsight, it's a little bit the same. If you're just a bit more careful about your surroundings, I'm not feeling that Bubs will get anything to do with COVID. What you're scared about with Bubs in the future, if it's just about bringing Bubs into a world because of the way COVID is, COVID's not here forever, and COVID won't be here forever. If I can touch on the positives of COVID, which most people won't, is some positives around it is, look at how clean our air is. Look at how beautiful our trees have survived the winter. Like, there's not all the dead trees that you've normally see in the winter. Look at how clear and fresh our waterways are. Like, you just have to go out and smell the purity of the air. So, the positive things of COVID are being, like, with myself, like, Mother Nature at its finest in a way. So if you're bringing, like, the future of your child into a cleaner environment, there seems to be, like, better grass for even kids to sit on these days than what there has been for years, all this sort of stuff. Like, the sounds of birds are so much clearer than what they were in the beginning. And I don't know if anyone is a lover of birds, but there's so many more owls about in trees than what there ever has been in 10 years. It's just quite extraordinary. These are beautiful things to bring your baby into this world. If you're worried about finances coming into this particular, moment in time where Bubs comes along, and maybe, your finances aren't as good as what they were before COVID hit, your finances will be okay. Like, I just don't get any negativity around finances. I don't get any negativity around your partner losing any finances as such. Like, I feel that your world is actually quite safe. But you've also got that you're worried for your mum. Now, is that worry also too got to do with COVID? Because if it is, if mum does all the right things, and mum's a bit of a with respect, like she loves a natter. Mum loves to have a natter with neighbours and all sorts of things, and she'll be missing some of that. Like, she won't be able to get all of the nattering in at the shopping centres and whatever else that she normally does. She won't be able to have that, that afternoon tea and have that natter type thing. So she's been restricted. But I don't see her, like, getting it and being, I don't see her struggling at all either. I'm not being shown that either at all. I'm finding that Spirit is not directing me to any like, struggles whatsoever. And I've just seen your other comment, and again, I don't seem to think there's an issue. I seem to think that, I seem to think, like, I'm being directed from Spirit that there is no issue with Bubs. Yeah, look, there's a lot of, there is a lot of what, and with the greatest respect, there's a lot of what ifs in your questions. And I know the reality of it is real, because, like, if your mum loses her mum, yes, then that comes down the line, then you're losing your grandmother, and your mum's lost her mum, and there's all this worry, and there's all this stress, and all that sort of stuff around. So I know it's a very, high level of worry that can be there. However, come back and focus on, every day of what's happening, because when you do that, half of this worry goes. If your nan is in an environment where she's could be subject to too many people around her in that case, then move her. Like, make constructive decisions and move her. Because the more you're worrying, with respect, this is not what I see. This is just a question that, and something, or not really a question, but a comment I want to say to you. Because I know the mechanisms of the body, the more you worry about things, and your previous comment about miscarriages, if you continually put worry and stress on yourself, your body won't be in the best possible manner to hold, if that makes sense. So some of this worry has to be released for your body not to be so tense. Because when your body is tense and everything, then your digestion is wrong, your sleeping is wrong, your the organ, the around the liver and stuff like that gets to a fact where it's not functioning properly. All these things are created by the stress, and if you worry too much, that stress it'll tighten up. Your body will tighten up where it wants to expand for bubs, and it will be tight. So I need you to be very mindful of that. So reduce some of that stress. As I said, if there's certain things that aren't in play with mum and your nan, try and talk to them to get those things in place so nobody is worried. And then the worry on yourself will lessen a whole lot more. And look, as I said, I see Bubs is going to be fine. But lessen the stress to be able for your body to be able to go, do you know what? Full acceptance of Bub, and I'm waiting for Bub, and I can't wait to meet Bubs, and all this sort of thing. Start talking that way instead of the worry. But Kylie, if there's something else you need to touch on for lengthy, then let's have a chat and go through that. But yeah, I hope that helps you.
Kylie, also look on YouTube for meditations where you can connect with Bub, because they're amazing. By the way,
good point. Good point.
All right. Joe would like to know any messages from my dad.
Looks like we're all mediumship tonight.
I did promise them an awesome medium.
Hey, what can I say to that? Except, thank you. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, Joe. Oh, okay. Any message from Dad? What do you see ahead for me? Okay, let's touch on Dad first. In the not touching, but yeah. I had to do that, Ollie, because they spirit. I don't know about you. Spirit just comes too close to me, and I go, "Get over in your own space. Move your own space for a moment." I feel with you, Joe, and please jump on and please anyone jump on and correct me if I'm ever wrong, because I love that. I don't love it, but you know what I mean. I'm open to if I'm wrong with something, because each card and each if people don't understand, spirit doesn't always talk in full sentences. So sometimes I have to work out what direction they're going to with the words that they give me. But Joe, I actually need to touch on you a couple of things earlier in life and currently to this very day today. You have this sense that you have to achieve every single thing at the highest level. And again, I say that with respect. And if you're a perfectionist, that's okay. But in hindsight, what is perfect? None of us are perfect. None of us are ever going to be perfect. So with all due respect to anyone who's watching that is a perfectionist, what do you do after you think you're perfect? Nothing, because there's nothing to do after that. But the people who strive to have everything perfect, their days are filled with running around with all this energy to make sure that everything they do is perfect. And I want to say, in a work situation or a partnership, it's okay to do everything to the best of your ability. Nothing has to be perfect, because you tell me what perfect is. And I don't think we'd be having another conversation after that, because there's nothing that's perfect. If a man wants to tell you, oh, I'm so perfect, I need to be in your life. No, that's his ego talking. Because there's nothing that's perfect. Nothing can possibly be perfect. If we lived in a perfect world, what have we got today? If we're in a perfect relationship, if everybody was perfect to be in a relationship, why do we have so much divorce? Why do we have so many people that fall out of love? Why do we have so many people that have an affair? because the person they're with is not perfect, and they're not perfect either. So this perfectionist side of people, as much as I understand that sometimes it can't be helped, because as a child, they kind of, like a young child, and this is where I want to come back with Joe, with this young child, it was almost like you thought you were going to be, and with respect, you almost thought like you were going to be loved more if you did everything perfect. So that wording has come round to you at a very young age, but there's no need to be perfect. Dad says to me, you're perfect naturally the way you are. Stop striving for something that you're beating yourself up with. You're, virtually harming yourself in a way to get to this level of thinking that you're getting to a perfect way. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't quite. Well, I'm glad you're not perfect. So who is? Why is Spirit directing me to this perfection thing then? She needs to answer me that, because Spirit is very, very clear on this perfection type way. Is Dad that way? All I kept getting was this perfection thing. So if she wasn't told as a child that if she didn't feel that she had to do everything perfectly as a child, then I want to know that in her work life now, why does she strive so hard? Because Dad is still telling me she strives hard. So I need to work out where that fits in Joe's life. If she strives, what is she striving so hard for then? If it's not a perfection trait, what is she striving so hard for? Because it seems to be there. There's also this something going on too, that you feel like you have to compete all the time. It's like that you feel like you're not good enough around other people. You feel extreme low self-esteem. There you go. It's the backward version of perfection, really, because you feel like everybody else is perfect and you're not good enough. So Dad was pointing me to that perfect thing for a reason, and you've answered it yourself. So you're on this trait of, if you don't feel that you're good enough, you see everybody around you as being better than you. But how? Because your life is okay. There has been some tough times in your life, but again, I want to say to you, a person that can front up and look absolutely perfect, or they can look glamorous, and you go, oh God, I wish I looked that good. But maybe their life behind closed doors is rubbish. Maybe they've got a gambling problem. Maybe they've got issues that none of us will ever know about. Everybody can put on this facade, and I can tell you, without saying too much about my personal life, that even when I was set on fire, nobody knew. Because when I came out of that hospital, I was smiling and happy Robin. I wasn't going to let anybody know how bad I actually felt on the inside, because I had to make sure that my son, who was only very, very young at the time, he had to believe that I was okay. Everybody had to believe I was okay. So I put on this mask. So I know what it's like to put on a mask. And I have compared myself to a few people in my life where I go, well, how come they get things sorted out in court so easily, but I have to fight? I have to fight to be heard in a court, like in a court case. How come others can get it so easily? All these sorts of things we like to compare ourselves to. Often in some of my posts on my pages, quite often I go, you are you and you are fabulous, and just be you. Being you and understanding that you are okay to be you and to give to the world what is just naturally you is actually a far more beautiful thing than you trying to be something that you're not. Trying to keep up with the Joneses is not going to make you perfect or a better person. That's not going to help your self-esteem. You come back to this. I still come back to this. Sorry, I'm sorry that there's things gone on in your past as a child that make you believe today that you're not good enough, because it stems back from there. And I'm here to help you with that if that's what you'd like, because I can boost your self-esteem with not too much effort. It's just you coming back to your own roots and being comfortable in your own skin. I'm glad my mother doesn't have computers, but my mother I've done psychic TV for over 7 years. And 7 years ago, my mother said to me when I got the news that, you're going to be on, blah, 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 it's going to be great. And I'm like, fantastic. My son went, whatever. And my mum said to me straight to my face, where there's supposed to be unconditional love, you're too fat to do TV. If I had taken that on board, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be me. If I had sat there going, wow, this person is my mother and supposed to be unconditional love, and she's saying that to me, some people could have crawled under a blanket and not come out and bring themselves for the rest of their lives. You can't allow people's opinions to control you. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses anymore. I'm looking at your picture, even though it's small on the screen, I'm looking at your picture and smiling and having this, wonderful gentleman beside you. Embrace those sorts of things. You've got this wonderful man who respects you and loves you for you. Some people don't have a man that respects them. Some people don't have anyone who wants to be in their life for that, like for any reason. You don't need to be any more than you, sweetheart. And again, I say, if there's anything that I can help you with to help you move past whatever it is to build your self-esteem and confidence, I'm here for that. Because I'm looking at you and your energy is beautiful, and I just want to cut that low self-esteem out of your life and get you to build up to. So I mean, everybody, there's people around you that love you, and they love you for who you are, and you have a heart of gold. And I don't know you from a bar of soap, but if I walked past you and I was freezing, I'm sure you'd give me your coat. You know what I mean? You have that about your heart. Give some of that back to you. Look in the mirror some days and go, and even start off by saying, do you know what, I'm okay with me, and start there. Because once you start that journey, doors will open up for you where you just didn't think were possible. And I just need to throw you down that path, because that's what's going to happen, sweetheart. So I hope that's helped you. We're all emotional tonight, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually just wondering who's got the family member who had a heart attack or breathing issues, because my chest has just gone...
Okay, well, we can't have that.
And I don't want to claim it as my own issue.
Well, you might be picking up my dad. He did. He had a massive heart attack and died at 55. If you want him.
I think he's yours to have, actually. Joe says thank you for kind words.
He can share a spirit. Come on. He's in my ear laugh and saying, "Bugger you, lol, I'm just sitting here having a beer." He's a funny bugger. Anyway, thank you for your comments. I appreciate time. I'll definitely surround believing people just think, yeah. Okay. And you do, sweetheart, and you will. You will.
Oh, look at this. Dear. My uncle did. My nan died from pneumonia recently, but all comments on the side.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, yes, Tash. I haven't seen Tash for a while. She's been off the radar for a bit. Tash is a beautiful soul, and been through some. I'm sure she won't mind me saying, been through a couple of rough patches herself. She's actually been one of my clients for a couple of years, and come leaps and bounds in many, many areas of her life. And I'm so grateful that she still has me as one of her cheerleaders, I'll say, on the side, in certain things she does. And she has a heart of gold. And Tash, just as I've got you, and just as I've said that, I actually want to direct you to I haven't spoken to you for so long, and I don't know what's gone on with your work with COVID either, because we certainly haven't been chatting to one another like we used to. But there seems to be something changing in your workload. Spirit tells me that that you've kind of, with respect, you've opened your mouth a bit, and that's not a gossiper. That's like, I think that you found out about something, and maybe you thought that could be for somebody else, but it's actually for you. So there's an opportunity that you may have missed out on because you've obviously might have given that information to somebody else. However, there's still another one around the corner if you choose to take that up. It's in the same sort of field. It's in the same company, not a new company. It's the same company. And if you want to sort of suss that out, then you need to kind of go and have a look at what that is. And there's also, too, there's been some disturbances on the home front where you've kind of restricted yourself in ways that you shouldn't have. I know that sounds a bit weird, but Spirit was saying that you've kind of restricted it in for a reason. And I don't want to say that's because of COVID. I think that you've kind of something's gone on when you've kind of come back in your shell, is what I get told there, and that you are kind of sick of wearing this little bit of a mask that sometimes that you have to wear around your friends. It's time that you kind of unleash that mask for good. And come back to seriously just being you. You're a beautiful soul, and you have a heart of gold and a sense of humor that would wipe many men off the floor with that sense of humor of yours. But there's sometimes that you feel like you can't be you. Well, if you can't be you, then who can you be? Stop criticizing yourself at times and embrace who you are. Embrace that you have kind of a little bit of a loud personality like myself. I don't care if someone doesn't like me because I can talk loud or have a deep laughter or whatever the case may be. Like I'm just not going to take that on board, because that's who I've been all my life. You've been who you are all your life, and there's no reason for you to change, and I don't want you to change. So Tash, I hope that helps you. And Dad kind of wants to say, I don't know, I haven't kept up to date with you. I'm not sure if his anniversary has just gone or something or other, but there seems to be some sort of little celebration that's just passed, and that you celebrated with him. You felt like at first that you couldn't, okay, he's talking now. You felt like at first that you couldn't tune into him, and you were worried because you thought he'd kind of gone away and couldn't talk to you, but he came back later that night to connect with you. And I want to say to you that at first you kind of questioned whether it was him, but then you felt something and you heard his voice, and I think that brought you joy. But I want to say to you, not to embarrass you, but I think that you have also had a bit of a big deep D&M with yourself and a cry that evening, because I think it was more of the emotion that you thought Dad had gone away for a while, but he came back that night. So I hope that resonates with you, Tash. Thank you so much.
Awesome. That's awesome. Do you want to know a secret?
What?
That I'm going to tell to you and 50 odd other people. We run out of time.
Oh, really? Already?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we only go for an hour.
Oh,
because my husband likes to see me on occasion.
Oh, I thought we were going for 2. I don't know why. I don't know why I had that in my head.
Look, I'm happy to have you where you are, but
put it this way,
he's watching a movie with his daughter. It's fine.
Yeah, well, don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. It's up to you. Like it's your show.
We can do a few more.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's put this one up, because this one's, I think I received a message from this one on my phone while we were in the middle of this, but I don't really look at the messages
okay.
while I'm live.
Okay. Wow. Spirit must be directing me to everybody that's had a bit of a rough life. I also, one that I've noticed that keeps coming up on the side, which I'd like you to find after this one if we can, Lee McIntyre. It'd be great if I can have her at some stage.
Yes. Next.
And
I have been planning to get to Brooklyn as well.
Okay. Kiki, what a beautiful name. I actually want to touch on you have. I'm looking straight down the barrel of your eyes, and you're looking at me as if to say, you know what I'm thinking. You have such deep intuition yourself, and it's written all over your face. However, I want to say to you that you don't trust it. You seem to, every time you hear and you feel your intuition, you actually go the opposite. You go with your head, and then when something stuffs up, you kind of you it's like you beat yourself up for about a week, as if to say, I really should have listened to myself. I really should have trusted myself. Well, how about for the next week, everything that comes up in your intuition, you just go with it. Go with it, try it, experiment, and kind of go, do you know what? Now I'm happy to really just roll with my intuition, because you'll find, and I say this on TV quite often, your gut feelings, intuition are actually 99.9% correct every single time. Not half of the time, part of the time, every single time, 99.9% correct. Sometimes your head goes, oh, that doesn't make sense, or that's a bit scary, so I'm going to go with my head instead of my gut. But that's when you're wrong, you kick yourself and you're angry for about a week. And what for? No reason, right? If you can, just for a week, every time you get a gut feeling, can you please act on it? Because when you have so many of them turn out right as they will, you will kind of free yourself up of a lot of angst that you've got inside of you. You seem to be, with respect, there seems to be some anger, there seems to be some, I don't want to say the word fury, but Spirit is directing me to the word fury. You know, there's this pretty face of yours, but there's anger inside of you. So something's got on where somebody has caused this anger, and you haven't acted on your gut feelings against them, as I want to say, and therefore things have not cleared themselves up, or things have not rectified themselves because of that. And I also want to say to you that you too, when you're younger, felt like that you weren't good enough. And this has been a theme tonight where some of you guys, and it must be because some of you guys have had something gone on in your childhood that's kind of just sat with you for so long. Even if somebody has said to you, you know, are you okay? And you've said yes, you've kind of dealt with it because and if I can just talk general for a minute, where women seem to be very good at, if we're dealing with something, if something else happens, we just layer it like a cake. We're baking cakes and we're just putting one layer on top of the other on top of the other. This is what we do because we kind of deal with what's thrown in front of us at the moment. And what was that bottom one will stay there. And sometimes that is not cleared 100%. And this is why we still have some of these stuff from past. But Kiki, I want to say to you that, as to me, it seems like a young teenager, you were bullied about something from a young teenager, but then something else happened and you had to deal with that. And it's kind of like you grew up and said, oh, I'm okay, that's all past now and I'm okay. But there's triggers that happen through your life that bring you back to the way you felt at that time. And that's what you continue to feel today. So if you can bring that up to the surface and heal some of that, because all of that was not your fault. So acknowledge, accept, release it. Acknowledge that it's in the past. Acknowledge that you can't change it because it is past, but accept that you actually played no part in that happening to you, and therefore it's easier to release. And it's when you can do that process. There's 3 simple words, but that process can take a few months. It doesn't happen overnight because you continually have to go through these things. Then all this will come to the surface. It'll all get out and you will be so much clearer and you'll focus more on different things, and different things will come into your life where you kind of think, wow, I never expected that to happen. And that will happen once you clear some of that stuff up. So I hope that's helped you, and thank you for joining us.
Awesome.
Okie doke.
This is me leaning in because I'm actually partially blind.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. What a great psychic I am. Didn't even know that.
I'm not really. I've got a very lazy eye, and
okay.
but I'm very special. I don't know if you know this, but one of my eyes is far-sighted and one is not. One's the other way.
Oh, you're one of those. So, I think I was that way for a while until I think they try to correct it with glasses, and sometimes I think, why am I wearing them? And then anyway, never mind.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not wearing them.
Fair enough.
All right,
okay,
so
we've got Lee. Would love to hear from Yvette. Okay. Lee, the first thing I have with you, my love, and I know we're going to catch up very soon, and I will go into a few things that I've got right in front of me. I will go into a few things with that in far more detail. But I actually want to say to you, stop. It's a really big message of you. Oh, there's a bit of a blame game going on. Why are you blaming yourself? There's nothing. I'm not being shown anything that you are to blame. The thing that I see there, though, is that I'm sorry I have to bring this up too, but I think the feelings that you have with your brother, along with Yvette, it was like, how dare I be left here on my own? That's oh wow, that actually came through pretty harsh. However, in saying that, you know that you're not alone. there's so many people that you know as acquaintances, but there is a group of people that you know are such deep-hearted, deep-rooted friends in your life, and your children are divine. Your children have this energy about them that is just so spectacular. They are just so much energy, and it takes a damn good woman to have that amount of energy around you all the time, not only to control it, but to understand where they're coming from as well. As Yvette has not abandoned you. I have to say that very loud and clear. And I actually want to say to you, I don't know where it comes from. It's a two-tone colored flower, and I'm being shown a mauvey color and a white color together seem to have a very big significance around Yvette. It's not a big, loud, bright, purpley thing. It's this beautiful, palish, mauvey type color flower, but it has white in the white in the center and up one side to some degree. And I don't know whether you have something of hers in that coloring, or those flowers were significant with her towards the end. Is what I get there. But I want to say to you that there was nothing, absolutely nothing. You went above and beyond, if that makes sense. So much love and respect, so much love and respect. And with one of these cards here, it's like that you moved mountains to do so much, and you. I feel like I want to. I feel like I have to hug you to squeeze some guilt or something out of you. I just feel that you know the answer, but you don't want to agree with it, or you don't want to admit it, or you don't actually want to have a cry about it. And I want to say, if I can virtually hug you right now, I'm going to do that. But in hindsight, you're also worried about what her legacy has been left. You're worried about certain things that are happening around that legacy. I want to tell you that everything is fine. The anxiety that you get all the time, no need for that. There really is no need. You're probably one of the calmest people probably on the outside than what I've known. You're so much into essential oils and everything that you do with your naturopath work and stuff like that is so empowering, and so you have the tools to be calm. But your insides at the moment are not calm. But I need to say to you that there's nothing to be worried about. She is very much at peace. Your brother is smiling at me right now to virtually say, sis, stop taking on board things that don't really matter. We are around you all the time, and he often comes through and sends his love, and yet I don't know the gentleman, but he very, very kind-hearted spirit. But Lee, I know we will catch up soon, but I just hope that helps you tonight, and let me know how you go.
Beautiful. All right, I have this one.
Melanie Jane, I'll be grateful for a reading on my recent pregnancy loss. Okay. Very personal for a public forum. I'm not sure, Melanie, if Melanie wants to contact me privately. However, I'll have a look. Melanie, the first thing I actually want to say is that life, this is going to sound, when somebody is grieving, sometimes when I have to say certain things, it sounds actually, it sounds like I'm taking the mickey out of someone when I'm actually not. I say everything from my heart. But Spirit tells me that if this pregnancy had have proceeded, that the struggle that the child would have had herself as well as yourself in keeping up with everything that you would have to do, it would have been really, really tough. And I mean really, really tough. And Spirit World kind of opened up their doors early to grant wings, because it just would have been a really, really tough battle. And I don't know if you had any particular scans that may have warned you to that degree. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about. But Spirit World just says to me, really, really sorry for your loss. but it would have been so much harder if Bubs had have actually entered the world, which is why Spirit does things to that degree. I mean, there's a lot of people that can't explain miscarriages or even giving birth to a stillborn and stuff like that. People just sort of say, "Why me? Why me?" I've always been on the belief, and I can feel your pain, because if I can be personal, I've lost 3 myself before I gave birth to my son, and then I thought my son was dead on birth as well as so, but he survived. But there are times when we say, why me, but the universe does it for many, many reasons. And I believe with all my heart and all my connections with Spirit, it's like that they need to remove Bubs to give Bubs wings, because Bubs's life would have been not great to be on this planet and not on this realm to be able to survive with dignity or with experience, to actually experience life. Bubs would not have been able to experience life. And I'm getting quite emotional with it, because I can feel your pain, and I can also feel that you did something wrong to lose Bubs, and that's got nothing to do with it whatsoever. You've done nothing wrong. You didn't do anything to ask for this. Spirit just knew what Spirit had to do, because it just would have been it would have been really tough. And I feel, again with you, I feel like I want to hug you, because you have taken on the blame for yourself, and I want to say, many days, many nights, you keep thinking that it's your fault. And no matter what medical people actually really can't give you like a professional answer on what's happened, because most times they actually don't know. They can't prove how and why some things like these have happened. It's all my years, and as I said, I've been listening and connecting with Spirit since I was 3, and God bless me, I'm 60 this year. So I know I don't look at can I lighten that up a bit there?
Really
but in hindsight, so many years of dealing with Spirit, and so many people I have helped through getting through miscarriages and things like that, and I had to even get myself through it as well with losing 3, is that I'm on the firm belief that Spirit will guide in many, many ways, and Spirit has taken Bubs for a reason, and I believe wholly and solely that's what Spirit has done with yours. But at any point in time, and what I say with people with miscarriages, because there's no, there's most of the times there's no grave, there's no nothing. Please go out to on virtually on dusk every night. If you choose a night or choose a date that's relevant to you, whether it could have been Bubs's birthday, whether it could have been the date of the Bubs being born, is go out and find that first bright star in the sky. That is if you look at that and just thank the Lord that that he or she is safe, and that she's there shining through. That is what I always wave to and say, I know you're watching over me, and I know you couldn't be here, but I know that you're better off. When you continue to say things like that to yourself, you come to an agreement with yourself and understanding that it actually wasn't your fault, that Spirit did that for a reason, and Spirit, has wrapped their arms around, your little one, and your little one has golden wings, because taken too soon, but taken for a reason, and far better off where she is. So I'm sorry for your loss, and if you need to contact me, further to go into a bit of grief counselling or whichever, please do, Melanie. Please reach out, because I'd rather help you than you sit there and still take the blame onto yourself. So, but thank you for allowing us to, or allowing yourself to put something so private up on a public forum. We do appreciate that for you. Yeah.
Very much. All right. Donna Brooks asked for a question that her husband asked earlier, and the question was just about news, guidance, that sort of thing.
Okay, what was the message you put up before you flipped to that one?
This is for
the first part?
Yep. Please, would you read for my husband? It's coming back.
Please would you read for my hubby, Brooksy Brooks? He asked a question earlier. Okay. Is he looking at starting a new love affair with you? Is that why he's too scared to jump back on and ask the question himself again? Or he got sick of maybe, I don't know, sick of maybe waiting for us to get to it. Look, sorry, I'm laughing, but see, I don't even know why I say I'm sorry. I feel with the two of you that you've kind of been at the chatter amongst the two of you hasn't been flavoursome for a little while, is what I get there. And I kind of want to say to you that some of the nitpicking needs to stop. You're going to be sorry you asked this question. It's almost like some of the nitpicking has to stop. But if since he's not here right now and you're here, I want to say to you, like, bring back the love and the romance into the situation. There's things that haven't gone on, and I what I mean by that is, COVID has stopped a lot of people going out, but there are other ways to be romantic with, hubby, or anyone for that matter. Like, make your kitchen table or your dining room table like a restaurant table. Like, put all the plates and the cutlery out and put a little flower in the center and put a decanter of wine out, whatever the case may be. Dress your table up like it's a table in a restaurant, and sit down and have the time across a table to talk to one another as if you are out in a restaurant in public. This passing one another in kitchens and passing one another in hallways and whatever of everyone's home when everyone's a little bit stressed out, and we can't go out. Make it a home date night. Do something different. Like, chalk it up a little bit. Do whatever, to hire out or what, DVD movies or whatever the case may be. So there's a movie or a film after the dinner. But make sure it's a dinner like with a 3-course meal. It doesn't have to be the most extravagant 3-course meal. But when you go to a restaurant, there's normally an entree, a main, and a dessert. Like, have all that ready. If you can't cook, buy it all in and just throw out the bag so he doesn't see anything, and prepare it on the plates. Make it a fun thing. Make it look like that you've made all the effort here, and he won't go, wow, well, what have I done wrong? He's done nothing wrong in that sense. You're just changing up the tune of what's been going on, because everybody's a little bit bored. Everybody's getting under one another's skin. Well, not me, but anyway, but it was getting under one another's skin. I don't have time for that rubbish. I haven't seen mine, whoever he wants to call himself. I haven't seen him since early February. Care factor? None. I'm too busy to worry about it. But in hindsight, like, bring back some niceties, because when there's nothing going on there, the nitpicking and all this sort of stuff, just that frustrates me to think that so many people are in that boat. But you, my sweet, I want to say to you that you're also the one that feels very unloved. You feel like that, you're missing out. You feel like that the love is not there for you to take on. You feel like that, you've become stalemate. I mean, I don't know what words to use, because you feel like there's just nothing there for you anymore. Well, that's even more an excuse to bring back this date night. Bring back that, wow, isn't this? It's something different. It's something lighthearted. It's something you can have a proper conversation and, across the table with. Why? Because you've made the time to do it. And when you make the time and make a little bit of an effort, as I said, if you're not a cook, buy takeaway and just throw out the containers and present it like you cooked it yourself. It doesn't really matter, as long as the atmosphere is set up where the table is set up like a table in a restaurant, because that is what draws the attention. The person feels like they're actually not in their home because it's set into a different environment. Make that environmental change. Have time to talk to one another. Things will come better. Because I have the reward and the love card for you, but you just need to. The communication is off. You just need to come back to the roots of all that communication, and things will be fine. So I hope that helps you, sweetheart.
Awesome. Now, Brooklyn has been copying and pasting all that. So,
sorry.
Brooklyn has been copying and pasting all night, so I thought I'd give her a go.
She?
Yes.
Sorry, Brooklyn. We always can't get to everybody, and the feed goes up so quickly that we lose people that have commented before. So very sorry, but
again.
Thank you for waiting, Brooklyn. I'm really sorry it's taken this long, though. It really, we don't pick and choose for like any other reason. They just go past too quickly, and then we miss them. So very, very sorry. Well, not me. I'll put that one back on Ireland. But no, it normally gets missed because there's too much, going on. But here we are. Any messages from past over loved ones? Okay, Brooklyn, I actually want to say to you that sorry, I just had to move particular spirits out of the way that actually weren't for you, because they weren't saying anything that made any sense. So I've just had to put them to the side for the moment. But I actually want to direct you to someone who is not that old, not a child, but like if I was going to look at them myself, I would probably say around about the age of 30, and quite a striking young man. Seems to have had more knowledge than his age, if that makes sense at all. But I also see that it was quick, no pain, nothing's wrong, I'm all okay. Somehow or other, I don't know where this fits in, because I just heard stop focusing on what could have, because it can't, and we need to see you smile again. So I'm just wondering how much sense that makes to you in that. Because that came through loud and clear. So I feel like it was somebody that you either grew up with, or someone that was like, a brother figure to you, or to that extreme. That's what I feel like there with that one. I also feel like I have one of your grandmothers with you as well, and she's a bit of a character. She's a bit of a teetotaler, and likes her cup of tea. But likes it made the old-fashioned way. But I want to say to you that if I was to walk into your house where you live, and I just say house because that's the quickest reference I can make. But if I walked into your front door and turned, oh no, sorry, I'm not going to turn. If I walked into your front door and I went straight down, straight ahead to me, but then to the right, I need to be directed to what is in that room that is significance to the first gentleman I was talking about passing. There seems to be something that you have in that room, or there's something on the wall just before you walk into that room that is very much a significance. But I also want to tell you that the picture on the wall often tilts to the right-hand side. That's them playing silly buggers. It's almost like someone straightens it, someone tilts it, someone straightens it, someone tilts it. So it's a little game that Spirit likes to play, but letting you know that that Spirit is around you and virtually giving you, at the same time giving you a hug. Okay, if you don't know anyone that's passed that's young, maybe it's someone that's young at heart, because they're showing me a sense of like they're in their 30s. They're showing me that they are, they're not showing me that they're old. I mean, I have to say it as I see it. Either if it's really no one that you can even put your finger on that has that. When I say childish behaviour, I don't mean that in an arrogant way. It's kind of like someone who is young at heart. If there's nobody that you know in that sense, ask mum. They're saying sort of ask mum, because mum will know. Mum will be able to fill you in on that one. But I still think that it's a connection with you, and maybe someone that's older that just has this ability to be young at heart and to be seen as someone who is like, funny and fun loving and always kind of the life of the party is what I see there. But I don't want you to take on board anything that's unnecessary. He keeps saying that there's things that you think about that are so unnecessary in life, and I just don't know what direction he seems to be going with that with. But I need to kind of hurry it along a bit, because I know there's other people waiting, but there seems to be also too with your, I'm going to go off the past ones for a moment and go on to your work environment. There seems to be something that you're very, very bored with in your work, and you need to step up and kind of say, do you know what? I can do more than this, and I need you to go to your, why is there 3? You seem to have a line of management in 3, but you need to go to the third one up. So the third one up, you need to go to that person and virtually say, I could be giving you so much more, and I want to give you so much more. Please give it to me. So the other ones underneath it seem to want to put you down. Not put you down. They want to keep you down, because they want all the limelight for themselves, if that makes sense. So it's something around there. But yeah, let me know how you go with all that. It was a bit of a mixed bag on that one. Hi, Lenny. How are you?
Yeah, Lenny's here.
I can see he's just chucked a few messages up on the side. I can see. God love him.
Now, David put this comment up earlier, and I'm glad he's put it up again. coming now.
I've been single for such a long time. I've just started talking to this guy. I feel a connection with you. See this going anywhere. David, thank you for persevering with us. As we've tried to... Couldn't have got any better cards. I was just about to say... we were saying before, the comments just disappear so quickly. It's half the time we don't, unfortunately, we don't see the name. So that's why we don't get offended when people repeat questions, because that's okay. We need to keep on, keep asking for people to repeat. I want to say to you, the very first thing that came out with me is that as much as you have the best picture I've seen for a long time of someone that's extremely happy. So you're very photogenic in the way you do your selfies, which is a great thing to have. But also, too, that with respect, part of that is a bit of a mask. You've actually been burnt before. And what I see with you is with your heart, it's actually not it's not a slice down the center of your heart where it's been totally, separated, and you've taken a long time to kind of rebuild yourself. But what I see is virtually that it's like a bit of a squashed heart. So somebody's actually trodden on you in the way that you then became to feel that that person didn't think that you're worthy of being in that particular relationship, and rather than deal with it on an adult manner, they chose to deal with it in a very childish manner. But that kind of left you floundering and started questioning yourself about, well, what did I not give to that relationship? What did I not do that was good enough? Why did that person treat me in that way? So I want to say to you, that's all about the other person, and you're not to take on board anything about that, because that's the other person chose to deal with that in a very childish manner, and that is pretty crazy. But with you having the defense mechanism up, this other person is going to take a little bit of time to try and understand where you're coming from, because when you've got a defense mechanism up, you're not displaying as if you want to get fully into something, because you seem to hold yourself back a little bit. So I kind of want to say to you, if I had you in front of me, I would say visualize this garage door up in front of you, and every time you walk out of your house, this door is up here all the time, because this is your defense mechanism. But you're in charge of that. If you can visualize that and say to yourself, well, today I'm going to bring it down to chest level, or I'm going to bring it down to waist level, and I'm going to give people a chance here. And that's what I want you to do with this gentleman. I want you to physically and mentally bring that barrier down, especially the next time you're around him, just to see how he responds, because you will see, and I can guarantee this, he will respond to you in a different way. All of a sudden, you'll kind of go, do you know what? Now I see it. Now I see that we both had this connection, not just me. And it's almost like he doesn't know where you stand, because with his barrier up, all he feels is the cold energy. So he doesn't quite understand that, because he doesn't know. Okay. So if you can physically, the next time you see him, just pretend that you have that up there, and own that wall, or own that garage door, and say, I'm dropping this down right here, right now, because I want to be open. I want him to feel my good energy. I want him to feel my sunshine energy. I want him to feel all of that, because then it's not that his attitude changes, but he kind of goes, wow, this feels different, and this feels right. And when he starts thinking this feels right, then you're both warmed up with one another so well that you can see the relationship moving into a different direction. And that's actually what I feel and what I sense with you. It will move in that better direction when you can sort of do that with yourself. And I feel that it's a great thing. I feel that he has a great character and a great persona about himself, but he's also a gentleman who I don't think will actually ever squash you as such. So you kind of need to explore the avenue of going, do you know what? I like you over there, but I want to bring you closer, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure if you actually haven't had a full-on conversation with. Oh, okay. I've just stopped midstream and read that. I was going to say, I was just about to say, I don't know whether you've had a full-on conversation with him as yet, but because the feeling was that, I love it when that happens. Spirit works in wonderful ways. I love it when it happens. But it's more about, I know the meeting someone new under COVID is not actually going to be great. It's going to be very hard for a lot of single people, and people have to take precautions. But I want you to start having those conversations with him, because trust me, he has seen you. I've already seen those conversations. He has already seen you. You have already seen him. Great connection will build. So do all the safety things first, but have that conversation. Like, if you've seen him like going to his favorite coffee shop, or if it's a restaurant, excuse me, situation, it seems to be somewhere to do with coffee, though, that I get, that you've seen him maybe in a queue, or there's been a smile at one another, something to that degree. Make the first move, say hello, reduce that barrier. He's not on this planet to break your heart. He's not here to squash your heart. The previous person was. The previous person hasn't had an agenda, if that makes sense to you. This person does not have an agenda. This person is a lovely soul. So I hope that helps. And I know COVID will be hard, and I understand the problems that will come along with COVID, but we have to tread with that one day at a time. And if it actually means just wearing a mask and keeping a distance and saying hello and whatever, maybe if it is the coffee situation, talk to the barista, pay for his next coffee. Do something to that degree where it will start the conversation. If you're, worried about that, that first connection, do something to that degree to surprise him, and that will also show, the kindness of your heart as opposed to the kindness of his heart receiving it. Phew.
That's awesome.
It's all good.
There you go.
Lots of phone calls and chats, but no catch up. He does have a good soul. Yeah. Look, it will happen. It will happen. Just be mindful of all the situations that surround all of us. And it's almost like everybody has to sit back and work out. It's like you're building a project. Work out how it can be done. Excuse me, instead of saying it can't be done. Everything will work out, for a reason. It's more about, if people have to wait a little bit of extra time, well, talking with phone calls is fine, video chats are fine, all that sort of thing as well as, but it's a part of how can we make this happen. But because it's COVID, it's more about how can we make this happen in a safe way. And work with the barriers, not against the barriers. Work with the barriers until there comes a time that you can go, do you know what? We're happy to catch up and have a meal. We're happy to, to be one-on-one and have that conversation. Whether it still means mask for a little bit of time, so be it. Where there's a will, there's a way. But just don't break the rules too much to a degree, just to try, because people, good souls, will stay. So if COVID makes it that you can't have a decent catch up for 6 months, he will still be here because he's a good soul, and this is meant to be. So I wish you well on that, and I'm sure there'll be many, many, many ways that you can resolve it.
Definitely.
Single mum in difficult situation. Sorry.
Yeah, comment up earlier. I believe that she's from South Africa.
Okay. I'm
just scrolling backwards to see if it was.
No, that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. Sorry, single mum. Look, career. A lot of people's careers have been put on hold or been disrupted in some way, shape, or form. But I want to say to you that you have a lot of with all due respect, and probably because you're a single mum, I'm not putting anyone in particular categories, but there's a lot of anxiety around reaching a particular goal, not necessarily like, it's not just the goal of earning money because you're a single mum. There seems to be some sort of anxiety about trying to reach a particular goal that I want to say to you is probably a little bit too far of a stretch right now. There's too many other things in the mix that's actually not going to happen right here and right now. I will say to you though that after Christmas, and it seems that Christmas even is going to be like, it's going to be different for a lot of people, but for you, something around family gatherings and something or other, there's going to be a twist, and not necessarily because of COVID. There's going to be a twist where it's not going to be the same thing that you would have normally had, but it's actually got nothing to do with COVID. That part's got nothing to do with COVID, And I actually want to say to you that you feel like at times that you feel like that you try and put yourself forward for these particular roles, and if you don't hear anything back, or if you just get this standard thing that says, you're unsuccessful, I feel that you take it upon yourself to kind of go, do you know what? It's me. I don't have the right qualifications. I don't have this, or I'm missing this, and I should have done this when I was younger, and I should have done all this. You seem to be coming back with a lot of, you should have done a lot of things but that's not it. I don't feel that they're the barriers that are stopping you from getting a position. I think some of the with respect, and with all due respect, I think some of the roles that you're kind of looking at aren't really your cup of tea, and I kind of want you to pull back a little bit here and kind of go, do you know what? I'm just going to apply for some things that maybe aren't really my cup of tea as such, but I still find them a little bit interesting, because you still have to have that little bit of that interest factor. If you go for a job that you have no interest in, you're never going to be happy. So if you go for a job just for money, nobody's going to be happy. But I understand that being a single mum, you need that money. But try and find a couple of roles to apply for that aren't this big fancy title, or aren't this title that seems to go with something that your family wanted. That's what I'm getting there. That's something that your family would rather you do than just going out there and trying to put yourself out there for simpler roles where you'll be happy, because you're a people person, and when you're connecting with people and you're making them enjoy their day as much as you're enjoying your day, it seems to be something that you're good at, and something will come along that way that you kind of least expect it, because you're looking at the moment. I see that you're looking in the wrong place. So I kind of want you to pull back and kind of go, I don't need a job with a title. I don't need a job that I don't really know what I'm doing, or I don't really like the sound of it. I need something where I can just be me. I need something where I can connect with people. I need something to, just go on to that sort of role of a job, because I just feel that when you do that, it's almost like there's going to be 3 or 4 people that are going to be asking you to come and work for them. So that's what I feel there, because I think you're just looking in all the wrong places, and I just want you to kind of reevaluate, sit and rethink something there, and have a look at some of the titles of jobs where it's not really a title for the role as such, if you know what I mean. So just look for some of the simpler things and kind of go, wow. And when you read the body of something that is like seems simple, you will understand that it's something that you think, wow, I would love that. And they're the ones that I want you to go for. I don't see a huge difference before Christmas, but I see two companies taking interest in November is what I see there. So I wish you well on that, and please connect with us again and let us know how that goes. Thank you.
Definitely.
Lenny said something about I was doing something for only women. I missed what he said.
Hey, let's go back.
Typical Lenny. God love him. He's got a heart of gold too.
He does.
Do you notice things amongst your readings, lady? I've been reading a lot of ladies who have relationship issues. So I'm wondering what the message in those readings meant for me. Oh, Lenny, that's because you're wanting a lady in your life, but you're not ready.
I often find there are themes. When, like, if we do readings like this, there's often a theme for the night, or for a moment, or a snapshot. And I don't think it's messages for us as readers. It's just that those particular people are congregated at that particular time. I don't think there's anything in that.
No. But I'll talk to Lenny another time about his women problems. And he knows I will do that with respect.
Yeah. All right. Any messages from Gwen or Frida, or a career reading?
Okay. Straight away, I got that Gwen was the life of the party. If I can say it respectfully, bit of a showgirl. I love what Spirit says sometimes. Nothing. These aren't my opinions. I don't get this from. That's what Spirit said. Frida is such a showgirl, but I kind of just want to defer from that for a minute because I feel that Bianca's main thing, and Spirit is direct, because I always say, and I think I said at the beginning of this show tonight too, was that Spirit always directs me in the most important thing that you need to know right now. And I think that you have connected with Gwen and Frida before because they seem to be near you quite often. But I actually want to touch on the job in the sense of Spirit is hammering me to say to me, are you in the right role? Because there seems to be conflict. There seems to be, excuse me, there seems to be people who are intimidated by your intelligence, if that's the way I may say it. You're very good at what you do, and you don't do anything to earn a pat on the back as such. You do things because it's who you are and what you're trained in doing. But I feel there's some. I really don't want to say the word jealousy, but I feel like people around you are intimidated. I come back to this, intimidated by your intelligence. And even as a child, I want to say to you that even in primary school, that you were quite intelligent in some of the stuff that you used to bring forward to your teachers. And if you asked your parents or something or other, I want to say to you that you always got, like rave reviews about, how you threw yourself into work and doing doing assignments and stuff like that. And you always had really, A1 kind of answers for things. And that wasn't you being a smart aleck. That was kind of you kind of going, I just know these things. So I commend you on that. And I commend you on the role that you do now, which can be quite demanding is what I hear. But I want to say to you that the conflict there will be around you for a while, only because you seem to how do I say, you seem to take some of this to heart, and when you get home, you don't have a really good night's sleep or anything, because you kind of mull over some of the things that you felt through the day, because you kind of walk out of your role quite heavy at the end of the day, because you do actually you're taking on board and internalizing some of this rubbish that's kind of been thrown at you by these people that that feel that they're intimidated by you. If I can give you any sound advice on that, it would be more about, I know it's hard because you have an open heart and you do take things to heart, because you do know that you're very good at what you do. However, if you can just shut that off for a moment and kind of say to yourself, it doesn't matter what they think. Don't take on board what they think. Again, it comes back to my favorite saying, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, but it's what you do with that opinion that matters. And when you have an open heart, it's all about, people with open hearts can take on the silliest comment and internalize it, and our subconscious rolls with it because it's a bit of negativity. Our subconscious rolls with it overnight, and that thing seems to get bigger and better by the next day. So we've seemed to have created a bigger and better world with that negative one comment overnight, because our subconscious loves negativity. So if you can go into this role and just focus on your job and not even worry about who's intimidated by you. And also, I want to say to you, again, with respect, and please don't change this, it's like when you walk into your job, you own it. And because you're confident and you own it, other people stop and look because you walk in with confidence. And people stop and look and go, there'll be the people that go, wow, isn't that fabulous? But there'll be people that go, oh my God, who does she think she is? And it's those people who say, who does she think she is? They're the ones that are intimidated by you, because they're not walking into the job confident. They're the ones that might just want to go to that job and just pick up a paycheck, if you know what I mean. So please don't take all that on board, because they're just, to me, they're just people that, the people that aren't worthy of my time, if that makes sense, because they're taking away my time by throwing me off the the planet by coming home and being a bit cranky and not being able to enjoy your night, or not being able for you to have a decent night's sleep because you've internalized how they've made you feel. If you can teach yourself to not listen to that sort of thing, and understand that it's what you do with their opinion that matters, when you take that on board, you'll have a better day, because you'll only be there to focus on the role that you are, and understand that that you're very good at your job. And if someone is intimidated by you, you make no apologies for that, because you're just being you. You're not being a bitch. You're not being a smart aleck. You're not being anything of the sort. You're just going in and doing your job, but you do it very, very well. And some people get scared of that. That's their problem, sweetheart. It's not yours. It is not your problem. So I hope that helps. And if you need further help on that, just please let us know. That'd be great. Oh, anyway.
Wow. All right, I am going to wrap it up this time.
Okay. Look, see, I knew Lenny would jump on. See, he wants to know more, because he's so engrossed about getting a woman. He wants to know more, because I said I'd talk to him later. I want to thank my friend. Right. I saw throughout the night, one of my close friends I've known since I was a teenager, Julianne Ricketts. She's been jumping on and passing me good compliments, and she's known me from a very young age. We were all drinking buddies when I was 15 or something or other. And she's one person that actually has always believed in what I can do and whatnot, and has never had a bad word to say about me. So she's a beautiful soul herself. So thank you, Julie, for I haven't seen all of them. I just keep seeing your name flick past. So, but yeah, yes. Thank you for your compliments throughout the night.
Yeah, and to those that we didn't get to, I apologise. But in all honesty, at various points throughout the night, we've had over 70 people on. So at any one time, it's got down a little bit now. So if you can imagine 70 different people at various times writing comments, it's a little hard to keep up. Other than that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Ms Tique, for your time, for your energy, and for your amazing readings.
That's okay. But you know what? If we've had 70 people, Eileen, if we've had 70 people tonight, and whatever the case may be, that might be a bonus at our avenue to kind of go, well, if that's how many people we're going to, maybe I need to come on here regularly, and
I'm okay with that. If you're okay.
People then get used to it or whatnot.
Do you know what's funny? I have one spot left in September. And I have my calendar, and
just so happens. See, spirit works in wonderful ways. See, I say something and she's already ready for it. Honestly.
So I've September got 24th of September free.
I'm yours. How does that grab you?
Oh. That's awesome. You are
no problem at all.
Written in pen, so you can't cancel on me.
So that's a Thursday night, is that correct?
Thursday night, yes.
Yep. Okay.
So the beautiful Tique. I'm going to put this comment up.
What's this? I know, Mel. I know. It's funny. Mel will be right on.
All right, so guys,
that's how it works.
Back with us on the 24th of September. Next week, you guys are going to have me doing readings.
That's all good. But in hindsight, anyone who was either upset or resonated with anything from domestic violence to low self-esteem or anything like that, I major in all that stuff, and it's not just me floating my boat. I've spent many years in helping many people through traumatic events like that, as well as, and part of it is psychic stuff that I feel what you went through at the same time, and spirit directs me there, which means I know I have to tap on it. If anyone needs help, please come over to my page. I'm sure Eileen won't mind if I'm bragging about my page, but come on to my page, Ms Tique Psychic Medium on Facebook, or my website www.mystique.net, and talk to me about it. A problem shared is a problem solved, but more so if it's more about if there's something that's still hanging on in your gut from what has happened and you haven't released it, it means that you're not attracting for the rest of your life the right people in your life, and it means that you will get hurt time and time again. So until that part is resolved, and until you feel 100% sure and back to being as confident as you can be. Some of the crappy things that happen in life, or the crappy people that come along and prey on your vulnerability, that will continue to happen. So if I can help in any way, shape, or form in that, please reach out, please, organize something, and we can do that.
You just took my next paragraph, so that's cool.
Sorry.
That means I don't have to say it now. Ms Tique's page is tagged in the description of this video, so you can head over there, like her page, and show her some love. If you did get a reading tonight and it resonated with you and you loved it, leave her a review. That would be awesome too. And other than that, we'll see you next month. I like to encourage people to do that because it helps.
Yeah,
it helps us.
It's nice.
It helps our
it's nice.
Our businesses, and it gets those little cockles warmed.
Yes.
All right, guys, have a really great night. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Thursday night at 8:30 p.m.
Thank you. Thanks, Arlene.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweet.